Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, my partner in crime. It's Joshua, Gangsta Time Code.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Okay, it is just me and the guy himself flying solo for today. Brian couldn't make it, so it's just us. But hey, we got a lot of manga to talk about, so let's not waste any time. Let's get directly into plugs. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37, that's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh, that's on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. You can follow Brian at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. And you can catch him where he's streaming at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on TikTok as well. You can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it in our pre-show chat show that we do, where we respond to listener mail. We talk about other things that don't really have a lot to do with manga. Sometimes we do end up talking about manga regardless. But yeah, hit us up on that. Let us know your thoughts about stuff, and we'll have a little talk on the pre-show chat show. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, if you will. And comment, subscribe, share, like, blah, 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 blah. You get it. Give us engagement. Engage with us. And that's it. That's all for plugs. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get directly into this super cool show we got going. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1111, quadruple ones. Sunshield. Last we left off, things got a lot tougher on Egghead. The five elders have all pulled up in their fully awakened mythical Zoan forms, and are wreaking havoc. It's pretty much Luffy was fighting against all four of them. One of them went up to break through the force field, and Luffy stayed down fighting the rest of them. He got eaten by the earthworm, the Shyalude from Dune, it seems. The Shyalude. But before he could be fully consumed, Dorian Broggy came by and decapitated the Shyalude, saving Luffy. So that's exciting.
That's Christian's favorite word.
It is.
At least for this week.
A lot of the Dune words are my favorite words. There's Shyalude. There's Muad'Dib. There's Lisa.
What's that?
Muad'Dib. It's Paul's like Fremen name. It means little desert mouse. It's like a little desert mouse. Muad'Dib. He's also the Lisan al-Gaib, who is this kind of like messianic figure in the Fremen. But we won't have to get to that. That's Dune. This is One Piece.
Chris is a Dune head.
I've become a Dune head, but strictly movies. Maybe I'd read the books. I don't know, but that's a story for another day. The movie is very good. I gotta say. Okay. So we start this chapter off with I forget what this character's name. I'm not used to like their beast names either yet. I want to say this is Neptune, the Neptune one, but I could be wrong. He breaks through the force field, and he seems to spot Jinbei. Well, Jinbei sees it in the air. He's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is that thing?" He pulls up to Zoro. He's like, all right, we got to get out of here.
Oh,
Yeah. Ho ho. I've been searching for you.
yo.
I didn't.
Shit, I don't got any Pokeballs.
I didn't know Egghead was in the Johto region.
Yeah, he missed that.
Yeah. Jinbei pulls up to Sanji, who seems to have just defeated Lucci, until Lucci just stands up. He's got 3 like gaping wounds in him. He's leaking big time. But he's still he's still standing up in his awakened form. Jinbei's urging Zoro to just leave, and Zoro's like, "No, not yet. He's still standing." Sanji is yelling into Jinbei's headphones, like, "Hey, did you get him yet?" And he's like, "No, I got him right now. Don't worry about it." And Jinbei just grabs Zoro and uses his Fishman 5,000 brick chop to create a smokescreen and allow them to escape. Lucci just turns back into his human form, and he notices the celestial dragon Ho-Oh figure just floating above him. Bro is having a full-on like shock. He's like, "Whoa!" It comes up and it asks him, "Where is York?" Jinbei and Zoro get away.
He says his whole government name first.
Yeah, he says, "Cypher Pole, Aegis Zero, Rob Lucci. Where is York?" After Lucci recollects himself after realizing this demon bird is yelling at him, he explains the situation. He says that York is still tied up in the command room. Currently on the loose are Jinbei and Zoro, who just escaped, 5 other members of the Straw Hat crew, and 2 Vegapunks, preparing to exit from the back of the Labo phase. So, there are 85 other Cypher Pole agents and 4 Seraphim in the basement, and Vegapunk's message resumes in 6 minutes. The Elder is like, "Well done, no further questions." And it starts flying away, but Lucci yells at him to tell him that his partner Kaku, of course, is still gravely injured in the command room, and he asks him to please spare his life. And Bro is just like, "I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see what happens." He says, "One does not attempt to step on insects. It simply happens." And he flies away to wreak havoc in the Labo phase.
Oh my goodness.
What a dick.
His own people.
We cut back to Luffy and the others, who's reconnecting with the giants. And we see that Jinbei, the giants are like, "Ha, gaba, how do you know the form of that god spoken of in Elbaf?" And Luffy's like, "What?" And he's like, "Your outfit, it pleases us greatly. Gaba. I think Joy Boy was a giant for sure. Joy Boy is for sure a giant. So
yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah. And I think Nika in general is probably very much tied to the giants. But more on that later, I guess. So the 5 elders look upon the giants as like, "Fuck, it's giants. A bad combination." And they're like, "Wow, look at these colossal beasts. They look like they come from Elbaf's forests." And Luffy clarifies, like, "But we don't want to fight these guys. We got to run away now." And Dory is like, "Yep, we already heard from Sanji. He told us to let you know to run around the back of the island." So, we get a little panel that explains actually the map of everybody, where everybody is currently. Sanji, Luffy and the giants are furthest away from the ship, kinda. Nami and Usopp are still in the Labo phase. Sanji and Vegapunk and Bonnie and Frankie are the closest to the Elbaf ship, which is the goal. And now that the giants have found Luffy, Dory shouts out a signal to escape. So the giants began to withdraw. And Workery, who is now some weird warthog demon, is like an escape signal. We can't have that. I'll sound off my own warning yet. Then a warning not to escape, and he just like lets out this huge roar, that's so strong that it literally like rips pieces of Luffy off of him, like aspects of his design, his eyes, his hat, his sandals, even his scar is like blown away. Um and there's even a little funny moment where like Luffy reattaches his scars like a sticker.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh, I know the haters was mad. I wish Brian
Oh
was
my
here to tell
god,
us.
you know they're mad. Warkery just starts running at him, and he uh his tusks turn into swords, which is pretty sick. Um
Yeah,
but the giants block them with their Svaldin Sun Shield. I don't know if the S is silent or not, but um and Warkery is
yeah.
just like, we have much.
Times two.
Yeah, Warkery says that we have much to settle with your kind. Do you even know who that is? And they're like, yeah, we do. He's a friend. Ga ba 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 ba, and ga 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 ga. And they say they do the Skilja split, knocking Warkery on his ass. Pretty awesome. Um,
Yeah,
Saturn starts to shoot these little like projectiles at them. Luffy is like, no, my god, that's gotta be poison. And he picks up just a tree and he bites it into, and he bites it into a, to fashion it into a baseball bat. Then I imagine he also paints. I thought it was hockey actually. Um, he paints it.
this is hockey.
He materializes a baseball helmet, and he bats them back at Workery. And he's like, "Ha ha ha! How do you like the taste of your own poison?" And then the thing just explodes. Actually, to which Luffy
Yo,
is,
the way it shows these two panels of them, like,
"What the fuck?"
I wonder if that's how it feels when Ness, like, in Smash Brothers, like, knocks your projectile back at you.
Oh my god!
Like, that moment, you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, when Mario uses the cape.
Oh, the king.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's so funny. So it exploded, and they it didn't really like perturb the elders too much. We even see that Jupiter is okay and is coming back to his own, much to Luffy's surprise. So they just decide to hightail it and get the fuck out of there. They start running. Uh, Jinbei is on his way. I guess to Nami and Usopp. Bonnie makes it to the ship, but there are vice admirals waiting there for him. Sanji's right behind them, so I'm sure Sanji is going to do something cool and take care of these fucking whack ass vice admirals.
Yeah, for sure. They're whack.
These fucking corny vice admirals.
Lame.
We see one of the elders have made it to York, and they immediately ask where the room on the monitor is. York is freaked out because he's never seen this shit before. Kizaru is still knocked on his back. They're like, Kizaru, show us your wounds. Let us help you. He's like, yeah, am I wounded? Yes, deeply wounded. Just let me rest. And last but not least, the chapter ends with the giant robot thing fully reactivated, walking in on Egghead, and he says, "Sorry, Joy Boy," and that's where the chapter ends. And we won't get One Piece for another 3 weeks. So, lots happened this week. But Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1111?
This is the RGC.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah.
For me.
It wasn't for me, but very close. Close second.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Okay, so that giant that got up, the It like looks like a robot suit of armor or something like that. And that shit is colossal. Like the giants are big. That shit is like 2 times the size of them. It
Yeah.
looks like a building. So let's be clear about that. Kizaru, he's conflicted because he knows he really should have joined the Straw Hats, but he can't do that. We know. That's what he's actually wounded and conflicted about.
What? Straw Hat
Yeah.
Kizaru?
Yeah. Uh-huh. You know, he just did heinous things. He tried to slice Straw Hats in half, and he shot a beam through, through
Through a lot of
to
them.
your boy. I forget his name. Yeah, through a lot of them actually. So he can't. That's hard to reconcile. Maybe he'll settle for a fleet member. But anyway, this chapter had it all. Yeah, there's good action, good art. It was fucking hilarious. I don't think this cartoon shit with Luffy is played out at all. It's like the vibe is still very serious. The fact that they're not dying is pretty crazy. I mean, I think it just again, I don't think they're immortal or nothing like that. But I think they just had to really get beat down. Anyway, I think another part that was really funny was when they noticed when they first noticed the giants and they say Saturn's like a bad combination. Cause they know like, oh shit, our whole thing is that we're all big and stuff, and these guys are big. And damn, I think one of them said that they hunt animals that look just like us for sport. So, they were like, damn, this is the absolute worst case scenario. Like, why does this keep happening? Why is shit hitting the fan in spectacular? Like, the pressure's on them.
For real.
They're the protagonists of this story right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're in a Jujutsu Kaisen arc right now.
Yeah.
Where they're gonna lose ultimately. That's exactly what
Or the Straw Hats keep. They're in the Sukuna cycle. They're just getting washed left and right.
Yeah, the Sukuna cycle. Yeah. Oh my god. On heavy duty. Nah, man. Oh, that's gotta be weak. Yeah, they can't. They're gonna lose this one. It doesn't matter what happens. Like Giants, Joy Boy, radios, all of that, bro. Everything's. You know what I mean? The fucking robots turning. What the Kuma bots jumping ship on them. Man, listen. I'm not saying I sympathize with them, but man, it is rough.
Yeah, it's not looking like a good
Itadori
time.
could relate at all, but I guess those are all my like core thoughts, man. I mean, the bird is scary. He's pulling up to people to talk, and I think he forgets that like he's a huge ancient kaiju. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
You can give people heart attacks like that.
Yeah.
If York wasn't a robot, she'd be dead. She would have died. You know what I mean? He may almost shit his pants from a distance. Keyword almost.
Jinbei's like, whoa, what
But
is
like,
that?
he's like, God damn. What is that thing? Can't fight that 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your thoughts, Chris?
Yeah. I really like this chapter as well, obviously. It is One Piece after all. It's just like kind of continuing like action to like the real climax. I am glad that Luffy was able to start running because this whole like escape being delayed is giving me anxiety. I'm just like, how the fuck? And now what's left is to figure out how Nami and Usopp are gonna get down from, and Brook are gonna get down from the Labo phase. But I imagine like the bird guy is gonna do something to break the barrier enough for them to escape. They'll probably have to do a coup to burst to get out of there.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah, it would be sick. I mean, but Usopp's up there face to face with one of them, so maybe it'll be a good opportunity for Usopp to do something cool. I don't know. Pretty nuts though. I love the little like. I also am a big fan of Gear 5. It's just so cool to see. It's such a different way of fighting, you know, especially for these serious circumstances and how grave the five elders are in general. To be facing off against like something so unserious is it's so cool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Luffy is wised up
Very
as a
cool
captain
contract.
and is like, yeah, I know I can't fight all of these guys right now. We gotta go. I'm trying to escape right now.
There are priorities
Yeah.
outside of I need to beat you.
Yeah. If you were an
I
admiral,
think when it was just Saturn, it was okay. But then when they all pulled up, he was like, ah, man, this shit gonna take weeks.
yeah. But I'm
My nigga
excited.
Usopp don't even got his hockey yet. Wildin'.
Yeah. I'm excited to see. I want Sanji to do some to take down all three vice admirals at once by himself. He should be able to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
But let me see the map as to where everybody is, just to make sure of something. I want to see where. They don't really show where Zoro and Jinbei are relative, but they should be in the Labo phase, I think. So they're also there, right? I think at least. I don't know. I think they're in the Labo phase. Oh yeah, because Jinbei went to go pick him up, so they have to be in that area. So Zoro is with Usopp and Nami. Generally, they're gonna link up right now, so that'll be fun to see how that turns out. Yeah, I don't really have many thoughts on it outside of that. It's such a good chapter. This whole arc has been fucking awesome. I'm very excited to see how it concludes in 3 weeks. But Oda is taking a break for his health specifically. He's not like sick, but it is coming off the heels of Toriyama's passing, and he's just trying to be more conscious about his health as well. And I imagine like that's been his vibe for the last couple of years, you know, given like the amount of breaks he's been taking here and there. So, you know, good on him. He did confirm is like, hey, on the heels of Toriyama's death, among other things, I'm just taking, you know, what he calls like scheduled maintenance. So
Yeah. I mean, he's an old man. I get it.
and actually, he's like in his 40s. He should be.
Really? That's it?
He started One Piece when he started
Oh.
like his professional manga career when he was 17.
Oh, I thought he was in his 60s, man. Okay.
No,
Okay.
Ichiro Oda. He's 49.
Wow, he's my parents' age. Crazy.
Yeah, he's his actually his like his statement on the issue on his break is actually kind of interesting. I want to read it actually because I think it's actually kind of cool. He says like break time. Okay, so I'm taking 3 weeks for myself. Yes, this is coming off on the heels of the news about Toriyama Sensei. Yes, this could cause some unnecessarily excessive panic, but I am not unwell. And while it does have to do with my body, consider this a type of schedule maintenance rather than anything else. More importantly, I think it's about time I start figuring out what the One Piece actually is. That's going to keep me busy. Keep me quite busy, I'll have you know. Sounds severe, but NBD.
What? That is some huge. Whoa. All right, I guess I got to give my reaction first, huh?
If you want, yeah.
Oh, all right. So
He was born on
I
January
don't know how to.
1st. Sorry, I just saw
y-
that.
y- Fuck all that. I mean, yeah. Listen, he said I need to figure out what the One Piece is. Let me ask you something, Chris. When you imagine any story that you want to make, you pretty much know the end goal usually, right? I mean,
Well, I know. I want to say that that could be easily misinterpreted. I think Oda has a general idea of what the One Piece is, but he wants to like have a fully fleshed out concept of it before he ends it. You know, because there's like things that you can have in your ending that you have some conceptions about, and Oda has said that like he knows how One Piece ends. But you know, I think when you set out to write a story, there are definitely things that are fluid. And while things like an ending where you have something in mind, they could be kind of a vague picture of what you want it to be, where he may have just kind of like thematically what One Piece means, but the physicality of it, or, you know, any even deeper significance that the One Piece can hold. I understand what he means in that sense. I'm sure he knows what the One Piece is. I don't think he walked into this story and after 20 something years not knowing what it is. But I think he's like,
right.
it's getting to that point where he's like, oh, I'm getting closer to the end. So I need to put more thought in. I'm at the stage where I want to put more thought into what it is and what it means. And like, it's more like asking final questions about it,
Yeah.
you know, like crossing T's and dotting I's and all that stuff, which is exciting. I mean, you know, taking 3 weeks to meditate on that is uh kind of wild.
It
But
is.
but yeah, generally I think
Uh,
like everybody has their own process when it comes to endings. I think a lot of people try to figure, you know, an end point, but you know, all that stuff is fluid. Some people go into it not really knowing what the ending is. I know I've done that a couple times, so um, I think Oda knows what his ending is, and I think he knows what the One Piece is. I think he's just trying to, as he gets to the end here in One Piece, just like meditate on what that actually means, because this has been his life's work. You know, it's got to be some kind of weird feeling for it to be ending.
yeah. I think the way you put that, definitely put me a lot more at ease. I guess with accepting that, like, that doesn't mean that he's about to come up with something about his ass like that. It's just honing it, putting more thought into how he's gonna connect, you know, these things together. I mean, in all honesty, like I want Oda to do whatever it is, for him to continue to put out the story exactly how he has been, which has been at very high quality for a very long time. So whatever he's got to do.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of pressure, you know. A lot of people call this the greatest story ever told, even if it's tongue in cheek. You know, it's a lot of pressure, I imagine, to be like, well, endings are usually disappointments. So I want to make sure that at the very least I'm doing stuff that makes sense to me, you know. And you know, he has like the privilege to do that being the king of jump at this point. So,
Yeah, he has full tenure to
yeah,
do as he pleases.
man. I'm excited to know. I think it's like I Otis given so much evidence that nothing he does is an asshole. Too long for me to think that anything he does is an asshole. You know? There's
Yeah,
just
almost nothing.
yeah, there's just so many connecting threads, and this is, I think, this is still like the most fully fleshed out like fictional world I've ever seen. Even rereading it now, I'm still just like kind of blown away. And it's funny to read One Piece again with the context of what you know in this arc, because you see Jewelry Bonnie when she's first introduced, and she's talking about how like this is all his fault, and I gotta go kill him. And now we know that she's talking about Vegapunk in there, all the way back in like Sabaudi, and in pre-time skip
Yeah.
days. That the him she was talking about was Vegapunk, and it makes sense because you see the link as well, because she starts crying during the Paramount War when the pacifistas make their first public appearance, and she's just seeing robot copies of her dad
Wow.
for the first time.
Yeah, man. What a pull.
Right? The hints are all there, man. It's kind of wild. And the patience it takes to write a story like this is kind of crazy, because that was 10 years ago. That was like more than 10 years ago. Even we were like in college, starting college when that happened.
Yeah. We had no idea. Like,
So yeah, I mean, I hope Oda does whatever he has to do to stay healthy, and to make sure he brings us home in a way that he feels good about, because he's the guy drawing this for like 20 something years. This is hard work. You would think first and foremost he should enjoy the ending.
yeah. That's for sure.
No, that's all my thoughts on One Piece. Very sad to see it on break, but happy. I'm gonna be so, longing makes the heart grow fonder. We'll see you in 3 weeks, Oda. You crazy son of a bitch. You crazy so and so. All right. We're gonna move on to our next series. I'm just pulling up the soundboard again. Blam.
Bloody Cross.
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 254, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown part 26. Yes. Last we left off, everybody has gotten.
Oh, alternate title. Sorry. Alternate title. To me, my X-Men.
Why? That's definitely not what happens here.
Yeah, well, let's just get through the chapter.
Anyway.
It'll make more sense.
Last we left off, Kusakabe was left alone to face off against Sukuna. And he's starting off with his simple domain, Evening Moon Sword EI. And Sukuna's like, sword drawing? I guess my flying slashing attacks? And Kusakabe explains, his simple domain again. He says that you could cancel out the guaranteed hit. Simple domain could cancel out the guaranteed hit as an anti-domain or an anti-barrier tactic, but it can't neutralize the curse technique itself. It's basic, but a domain's a domain. And Sukuna tries to use his slashing attack, but Kusakabe, inside his domain, his cursed energy output rises even as Sukuna's technique slightly weakens. But best of all, we see that he manages to parry Sukuna's slice. He says, I can incorporate my own original program, automatically intercepting anything that intrudes into the domain, which is a thing that we've seen before, with Miwa. Whenever she uses the simple domain, the binding vow within that domain, like Kusakabe, is that anything that enters her domain is immediately attacked. So, it's like kind of an auto guard, which is pretty sick. And Sukuna sends out more slashes, but Kusakabe manages to block them all, and he's like, "Fuck, that was scary." Sukuna's like kind of amused by this. He's like, ha ha, I'll hit you next time. And now Kusakabe's like, all right, here comes the slash that cuts the world, dismantle. And we get a little flashback from Nanami, Mei, and Gojo about what exactly makes Kusakabe the strongest grade 1 sorcerer. And they Mei and Nanami basically are like, well, technically me and Nanami are more powerful in terms of horsepower than Kusakabe. But Nanami says that it's more that I can't imagine Kusakabe losing than I can imagine him winning. You know, he explains that he's an excellent swordsman with a wide variety of moves. He can also use barrier techniques, and he has strong analytical decision making based on his immense knowledge of jujutsu. So he's a versatile sorcerer. Gojo explains that he's got a couple of trump cards. He's got simple domain, and beginners need binding vows to do that. So, you know, as we see with Miwa, with hers vanishing if both her feet leave the ground during activation. But Kusakabe can do a simple domain without a binding vow, and he can expand its range. So, you know, we cut to the present, and he does just that. Mei explains that new shadow style sword drawing is basically a counter that lures the opponent in, but Kusakabe expands the simple domain later to draw his opponent. And his simple domain has the program that intercepts attacks. So, you know, when attacking, sorcerers who have risen to grade 1 without a curse technique don't think with their mind but with their backbone. Those they strike don't stand a chance. And then Kusakabe unleashes a wave of slashing attacks at Sukuna. So he does that until his sword eventually breaks, and then he uses his cool trench coat to blind Sukuna momentarily and get into some hand-to-hand combat. He holds his own for Sukuna for a while. He's like, this isn't like me. Why am I fighting so hard? And he's like, it's Yaga's fault because I owe him. They say the dead don't speak, so we can only imagine what they'd say if they were alive. You know, even if I don't risk my life, Yaga wouldn't have criticized me or refused to let me see my younger sister and Takaru. He says, but he might look a little sad. Not because I didn't risk my life, but because he couldn't fight alongside me. And I think Gojo and them say that the biggest reason they support Kusakabe is that while he complains a lot and he's always rational and reliable. In other words, he's kind-hearted. And Kusakabe is like, the kids risk their lives in this fight. As an adult, I should do no less. And he basically creates like a cool cursed lightsaber thing with his broken sword. And he tries to attack Sukuna's heart. But Sukuna reads the move. He grabs the katana. And Kusakabe is done for. He is X-slashed.
Yeah, X-Men.
Is that why you called to me X-Men?
Yeah. And he also looks like Cyclops when he wore the yellow outfit. He has the X on his chest. Well, most of them do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, Kusakabe is on the ground, and that's when Uiui shows up. He's like, Kusakabe, to teleport him away. But Sukuna pulls up behind him, and he's like, this is starting to get annoying. And just when you think he's killed Uiui, we see that Miguel has shown up out of nowhere. Sukuna's like, I don't recognize you. It's like, if you don't know me, you don't belong here. That's why we say island folk have antennae with poor reception. Is that what they say?
I don't know. I'm not an island guy.
Neither am I. But hey, Miguel is here, and that was Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 254. Josh, what did you think about the chapter?
Yeah, this was wicked. This is a wicked chapter.
Wicked.
I thought. Man, Kusakabe, he like you said, he put up a hell of a fight. I don't think any of us thought for a second that he was gonna end this show or anything like that. But we finally got to see his full abilities. I think that was nice. You know, It's man. I hate to throw shots, but like, you see how even during the end, we are getting to see all of these supporting characters really like do their best,
Yeah, I know who you're gonna throw shots to.
and it, you know what I'm saying, and like it's not like just spawned on us with people out of nowhere. All of these characters were here from the beginning. Well, I guess except for the few introduced during like the Cullen game, like Higuruma and the comedy guy, but he put a lot of investment into those characters in general. And it could be done, you know? It doesn't have anyway, I'm just saying it's possible. So when he deflected that attack, it was like, damn, that was scary. Sukuna said he laughed and said, I'll hit you next. Like that was so juvenile.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right. Like, I got you.
He said,
I
"You
got you.
cheesing, but
I'm gonna
okay." He said, "You
I
cheesing
see
this
what you're
year."
doing now. Right. It was like it's funny how playful he is in these situations. I think like that's one of the like strong points of his character is that
Mm-hmm.
of course he's evil and wants to destroy them all, but it's like it is not with the intent of it's not so much with malice, it's just because this is what brings him joy. Like this constant wave of sorcerers he's been like, murdering. He hasn't had this fun in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So and you can see that. And it's not all weird. He's not like doing that cheesy laugh and smiling when he's like getting hurt or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He's getting fucked up. He gets worried and shit, but then he bounces back and says, "Yeah, I outsmarted you. I outplayed you. Who's next?" Like, this is Sukuna's like probably one of my favorite villains of all time, man. Like top three type shit, man. I had to really inspect that.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, Kusakabe. I knew it was a matter of time before Sukuna would catch on to Ui, you know. But man, I did not expect this guy showing up at all.
No, neither did
But
I.
I did see a bunch of memes with him,
That's what
and
I
I
saw
was
too.
like, "Peop-
That's how I knew I
right?
was
I'm like,
spoiled.
this is a joke, right? Like him, like they, because I knew like before, but even before he came in the chapter, there were always jokes about him because like he was able to kind of fight like against Gojo for a while, and people were like, oh, like he's so strong, but Miguel was able to keep up with him for a while. Like it was just a meme, like people weren't being serious about it. And then now he like pulled up. I don't know, like
Well, that's how I knew I was
what
spoiled
the
for
fuck is
sure.
this guy gonna do?
The emergence
Yeah.
of sudden
What did
Miguel
you see?
memes. I was like, oh boy. And then I actually saw this last panel. Eventually, I came across this final panel. But I didn't see the whole panel. I just registered Miguel. And I was like, fuck. Miguel's here. Which, not in a bad way. I'm like, cool, Miguel's here. But like when I saw him, the spoiler, I was like, God fucking damn it. I saw it.
Mhm.
There's nothing sacred anymore. But were those all your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Hmm. I did want to comment on something I mentioned earlier about the Sukuna cycle. That's a real thing that people are feeling. That there's a cycle of events during this arc, where a character appears, uh, they fight Sukuna, the narrator hypes them up, Sukuna defeats them, a new character shows up. Yuji, and also invariably Yuji gets shit on. Uh, but that is the Sukuna cycle, as like the fandom has called it, and a lot of people are like kind of getting tired of it. Um, I don't agree, frankly.
Yeah, I disagree. This is unprecedented. So like,
Yeah, people are going as far as to say that this is bad writing. I don't think it is. It may be not particularly exciting fights because at the end of the day, Sukuna is gonna win, but This is kind of one of the things that Gege has navigated pretty well is having OP characters and actually having a story despite that. You know, because like Sukuna is the strongest guy to ever live, and a lot of manga do that where they're like, this is the strongest ninja who ever lived, the strongest soul reaper, the strongest pirate, whatever, and they're eventually just like they're on even footing very easily with people. But I think like this, it's a pretty brave narrative choice to actually follow through on making them kind of unbeatable, and it makes sense. Um, and like it's not like Sukuna is like walking away from this unscathed. He is struggling a tiny bit. He is kind of beat up, even though it seems that he's easily dispatching. Everybody's taking a little chunk out of him, especially Okotsu and Yuji. But people are just like, I guess they're unsatisfied with the fact that Sukuna is just washing everybody. But I mean, you got to have some dramatic tension. Sukuna has been built up for a long time. Suguna with like only a handful of fingers was like already OP and was already taking on Maharaga. Um,
Yeah, most of these sorcerers can't take on Maharaja.
yeah,
Kusakabe couldn't. I don't think he would.
yeah, but it's just he's just following through on the build up. I think it just makes sense. And I think it's not over yet because there is a reason Uiui is teleporting everybody. That's like a plot point we haven't seen fully through. So
Yeah, that's true. We don't know.
we don't
He
know
could
what they're
be
doing
zombie
over
patch.
there. Yeah, we don't know what they're doing over there. So it is exciting still to me, and I still think the Sukuna is like a great villain, like Josh said. I love the weird like aspect of gamesmanship with him. Like there's always been just this edge of Sukuna just being like having fun with not just fighting but learning about different techniques and internalizing them as they fight him. Like he seems genuinely fascinated on a philosophical level by people's techniques and their abilities and their fighting style.
Yeah.
So, I don't need him to be this like super deep person because villains are selfish. It just makes sense. And Sukuna is a curse, who are historically irrationally mean. That's their vibe. That's their whole deal. They don't have feelings in the same way that a lot of people do. So I don't know. That's what I have to say about the Sukuna cycle. I think it's still good. I'm enjoying myself because it's not just like a one-sided beatdown. Sukuna is actually fighting these people. you know,
Yeah.
like if he wanted to, he probably could just cut them down very easily. But he is like leaving room because this is something he enjoys, and he's like weirdly passionate about. He likes seeing how people's techniques work. He's a very curious person in that sense.
Yeah, he's very nonchalant. He doesn't have any reason to speed the process up or um you know like he's not worried about dying at all. He's just ready to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's fighting for his life, but it's not like he's trying to run away and heal. He's just like, who's next?
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. There's also a theoretical way to beat him, Like they don't have to defeat him, they just have to rescue Megami in some way. So there's a way out of it, in theory. There's a sense of tension that Sukuna is not entirely without a way to beat him. But it all depends on them getting to Megami. All this being said, I am excited to see what Miguel's technique is, because he's someone we've seen in the Zero movie and, of course, in like the manga version of it. One of my favorite memes about it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
One of
It's
my
a movie.
one of my favorite memes about it is someone in the little in Japan when they print these out and they get to the last page, there's usually like a big, to be continued type of thing where they're like, this is the sorcerer who went toe to toe with Gojo, like to hype up the next chapter. And people took
Really?
that,
And they,
people took that little note where they said like this, referring to Miguel as saying like this is the sorcerer that went toe to toe with Gojo, and then just cutting that with the footage of him getting the brakes beaten off of him in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and they said toe to toe in quotes. I gotta send you the TikTok. It was too funny.
yeah, please, man. That sounds hilarious.
But yeah, I am excited to see how this happens because Jujutsu sorcery has been a thing in Japan exclusively, so we don't know how that manifests in other countries. Um, I don't remember exactly where Miguel's from, but I think he's in Africa. Maybe Haiti. I don't know. I don't exactly remember where Miguel's from, but I'm excited to see what Jujutsu from other countries look like. Maybe it's something that's like kind of incompatible with Sukuna, and it's something that
Yeah, didn't they say it's all in Japan? That's kind of
well,
weird.
I think Japan has the most, has the stronger institution of Jujutsu sorcery, like a more established one, where other
Oh,
countries don't really.
okay, that makes sense.
But yeah,
Yo,
that's
Sukuna just standing there with those 3 slashes on the ground, like, oh, mm,
man, that's got to be
God, I
fast.
got you.
He had to outrun like one of the slashing attacks, which are just non-visible, and you don't know how fast they go.
Yeah, so we know Miguel's not slow. That's for
No.
sure.
And we know that he was strong enough to survive taking just like a 30-piece combo from Gojo.
He did survive that. He's alive right now.
He did more
I
survive
actually
than
thought
that.
he was dead.
I'll give him credit and be like, he was still down to fight after being embarrassed by Gojo, getting slapped around like that. So maybe there's more to Miguel than meets the eye. But we'll have to wait and see till next week. Were those all your thoughts, Josh? Do you have any rebuttals or anything?
No.
All right. Then let's move on to the next woo.
Fi me pick me in the car with me so me can chat.
Kagurabachi. Alrighty, with that, I'm going to pick up Brian's duties in Kagurabachi. This is Kagurabachi chapter 26, Confidence. Last we left off, Chihiro and this Mr. Shiba, I think his name is, have infiltrated the Nazami home and attempted to get into the storeroom and get the Shinichi, the other blade, the second blade that Chihiro has founded. But they learned that the storehouse that the blade is stored in exists in this subspace that only the head of the Nazami family has access to, and he has complete control over everything in there. So he can summon things at will. He can kill living things within the storeroom, just with a thought. So that room is entirely under his control, and it wasn't looking very good. Chihiro, Shiba, and the kid that was with them, I forget his name, Haruki, I think his name is.
Yeah.
They were all surrounded by the Nazami family.
Hakuri.
Oh, Sazanami. I'm
Hakuri.
sorry, I've been saying their name wrong the whole time. The Sazanami family the whole time, and they couldn't win the fight. So in exchange for letting them go, Chihiro gave up his N10, which seemingly was part of the plan the whole time. And we opened this chapter with the two guys from, damn, I'm still trying to remember what they call, but the weird police organization in this world, having lunch or something, and they get news about the Rakuzaichi auction item that was recently entered the N10, and they're like, "Whoa, what do you do that for? What's he plotting?" And we get the answer pretty much immediately: recon. So, you know, they basically only have a few hypotheses about the storehouse, uh, and one is that Hakuri might have the power to interfere with it. Also, the Sazanami clan is devoted to protecting the Rakuzaichi with their lives. So, if he risks his life for the Rakuzachi and gets killed, the storehouse disappears and the Rakuzaichi is done for. Exactly the opposite of their goal. So, you know, maybe they're not so willing to destroy the storehouse so easily. And they start thinking it's possible that the storehouse exists somewhere in the real world and they're just transporting their weapons from there. So, they're just trying to, gather some info on the situation before the auction and get a better grasp on the storehouse. And I forget this girl's name, but she asks if the enchanted blades have a recon function, and they're like, not necessarily. The goldfish that come out of the sword are a manifestation of Chihiro's spirit power, so he can he can move them freely like an arm or a leg, and he usually sends them in first to get like a general vibe of the enemy territory. So we've often seen him use the goldfish to kind of like see if there's enemies around and all that stuff. So that makes total sense. They ask if he
They
could.
even gave a little example.
Yeah. They asked if
I
he
can
like,
dig that.
can you activate the goldfish remotely? And he's like, I gave it a try after I heard from the Hagiwara troops that Sojo cast Mei remotely. So he realized that if he could if he is able to charge up his sword with his spirit energy before he lets it go, then he should be able to control it remotely for a limited time at least. So, they're like, but Sojo was within 100 meters when he used the same kind of thing. So, and we don't know where the storehouse is. Will it work? Jiro's like, I'll try. And Sheba makes me laugh a little bit here because he just looks at us like, whoa, this is still a huge gamble. This kid's got a real poker face given the stakes. I'm shocked. It gives me the chills. And he still has this like super like relaxed face on. It's kind of funny. I feel like they did this joke before. It still made me laugh. So
Nah, that was one hell of a gamble. Right.
yeah,
I'll have more thoughts later.
yeah. So he's like, "You good with this, Chihiro? I mean, I can't say it was easy to let go of it." And Chihiro's like, "I can't say it was easy to let go of it, but Hakurui was the deciding factor." Hold on, I gotta plug in my laptop. Sorry, that was a close one. Anyway, so Hakuri starts thinking to himself, he was unsure, but since I was captured, he had to risk it. And he's just kind of like beating himself up inside. He's like, I don't know the whole backstory, but his own father was ready to kill him. Hakuri must not be feeling great. He asks him if he wants to go get some ice cream. Sheba does, and Hakuri's like, I'm good. Don't worry about me.
Losers don't deserve ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream's for closers only. So, he apologizes for being such a burden, and Chihiro's like, actually, you helped me make the move, even though I wasn't sure. You gave me the confidence to let go, And we see that Chihiro is actually able to activate the N10 from far away as a tiny little goldfish appears out of the sword. And he says, I realize that no matter what happens, it's still mine. So that's sick. Good for Chihiro. So he's like, you gave us general information, but with recon abilities, we can ask more specific questions, and you're the only one who can answer them, Hakuri. We're counting on you. So, Shiba's like, what a guy, that Chihiro. And so they're going to figure out how to infiltrate the storehouse. But then bad news happens. The head Sazanami pulls up to the storehouse, and he's like, Kyora, he could go. Oh, his name is Kyora. He could go inside as well. Kyora turns his head because I guess he notices something's there, but the goldfish pieces out immediately, and it is hiding amongst the storeroom things. And he's like, I thought I saw something. And he starts thinking to himself, "It's like I can't imagine you'd given up Ensign without a plan. At the very least, it wasn't hopelessness that I saw in your eyes." He goes on to say that a business deal without risk is boring. Honestly, I look forward to seeing your next move. If I can protect the enchanted blade until the auction, I win. And he's like, bring it on. Which is pretty cool. He gets this cool panel where his weird eyepiece is flaming up. It looks super cool.
Is
And
that an eyeball in there?
in where?
Oh no, that just says is that an eye like next to his ear?
No, that's just like the flare of
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's just
It just I thought it was an eye.
no. That would be a weird place to put an eye design wise. But anyway, we cut over to this new scene where these two goons are just like kind of talking about how, it's so calm. It's like most years, some dumbasses raise a ruckus and get themselves killed by security. But they're like thinking, given what's up for auction, enchanted blades, two of them. And it's like, but they won't make an appearance till after dark, so no point in getting all tense this early. So, they're like, I doubt it'll stay this calm. It's going to be a rager tonight. And the chapter ends with a big 2-page spread of November 8th, the 208th Rakuzaichi auction. So it's about Rakuzaichi. And that's where the chapter ends, with the auction about to start. This is, first of all, 2-page spread is awesome. But
Doors open at 11 and the auction starts at 12.
Indeed. But Josh, what did you think about Kagurabachi chapter 26?
This was a cool chapter. The part that stuck out to me the most was the fact that Chihiro was like, look, TBH. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I did definitely just hand my sword over, not knowing for sure if I was gonna get it back. Because last chapter, he definitely said, I got this. Not word for word, but that's what he gave off. That's what the author did, And so I was like, oh shit, he about to use his powers from a distance because he know how to do that already. Such and such. And just for him to be in that car with them and be like, yeah, I'm going to try my best. So I think that's why that moment hit so much when he was like, I'm shocked. Like, he gives me the chills because he did. It was stated so surely in the face of all of that struggle, because he could have definitely left that kid to die and said, fuck that, I'm taking my sword. But I like the way it was stated, how the kid gave him confidence that he could, like, he had the idea he could do it and figure, like, no, it's my sword, this is my shit, I'm gonna figure out a way and I'm gonna save this kid's life because I'm that nigga. So yeah, pretty cool. Cool. This is who Megumi thinks he is.
Yeah,
I said it.
it's a pretty hardcore. It's pretty rough.
You don't got Maharaga.
He does not have Maharaga. This is true.
to kill them both. So. See these guys outside. There was one smoking and the one with the mask on towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, they know what fucking time it is. Right? The guy smoking, he's like, listen, man, this nigga's out there plotting. Not now. I'm talking last week, last month. Like yo, you've got the main character, you've got probably other mafias, you've got the police, then you got the super police, like that chick with the flames, and that whole organization, they're gonna be there. And like they're all gonna be there to try to auction for it, but they also gonna cause mad fucking havoc too. Like, so they know. They're like, man, we're probably gonna die. That's why that dude smoking that cigarette, he's enjoying that shit. He's like, yeah, this is my last. It's gonna be one of the last ones. This is one of my last packs before I'm a pack.
Might as
Speaking
well
of
have a
packs,
pack before I
the
become a
Knicks are
pack.
doing. I wonder if the Knicks are packing up the Pistons as we speak.
Oh, they pack 'em
That's
up?
what should be happening. I hope so. I'm about to check it out now. Damn, Syracuse lost to Connecticut in women's basketball. That's tough.
That's tough.
Oh yeah, we're destroying the Pistons at 26 points. Massacre. And yeah, very aptly, very on point, because that's what this next arc is going to be, a complete massacre in this building. This whole building is going to be leaking blood. It's gonna, like, blood is going to be leaking from this windows, looking like the whole house is crying. It's going to look like the you see Monster House before?
I have seen Monster House, yes.
Yeah, it's going to look like that shit, bro. All these cars are going to be flipped upside down and blown up. And the buildings in the back is going to be on fire, too. The whole city's going to get turned around. It's going to be like the Knicks won a championship in the worst way. So what's your thoughts on the upcoming Rakuzauchi?
I'm very excited. I thought this was a really good. Well, it's not the very good chapter, the really good chapter of the week for me, but I thought it was of that caliber. I really enjoyed this. You know, Chihiro's not like an unconfident character, but this was like he's not a very risky guy in a sense where he doesn't make like crazy audacious moves like this. I don't think audacious is a word. I think I'm thinking of ostentatious, which could not be the right word. But I digress. In any case, yeah, he's not a guy to make like these big, like sprawling moves. He makes very like precision hits on people. He comes in and he doesn't take any risks. He like incapacitates people immediately as fast as he can. And playing the long game like this is the first time for him. And it's cool to see him have this kind of confidence with it. Not be very shaken up because he knows what he's capable of, and, you know, taking a risk on himself was really cool. So I appreciate that on a character level for Chihiro, being a very dependable guy and, you know, taking it upon himself to, you know, take a risk and improve himself for the battles ahead. Because this is going to pay dividends in later arcs, probably. Like, now that he's aware of this ability. So, that's pretty sick. I do also want to say that one panel where the fish actually comes out, so fucking good. This guy is such a good fucking artist. Yeah. It's insane.
Very smooth. He's a water god.
Yeah.
Water effect god. Ink watercolor god.
Ink watercolor god.
Yeah. Probably better than Demon Slayer.
Probably. I mean, because these things are actually real and they're in the world.
That's the most annoying fucking part of that whole series, but whatever.
Yeah, it didn't have to be that way.
It really didn't.
Like, because he's doing it anyway. So why not just make it a thing of the world? And I like Demon Slayer, but it's so weird. That's such a weird choice. Especially for a shonen series, bro. It wouldn't hurt you for it to be like, you know, the fire is real.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress again. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can really comment on, but really the whole chapter is about, like, Chihiro's gamble here, and I thought that was like really cool, effective character growth for him. I'm into it. I'm here for it. I'm excited for what's to come with Kagurabachi. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of action going forward, a lot of tense moments, because it's the auction time. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But are you ready to move on, Josh?
Sure.
Alrighty. That being said, let's move onward.
Holy shit.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to toss this one over to Josh.
Holy shit, indeed, because it is chapter 200 for Undead Unluck. Congratulations, Yoshifuma.
Yes, sir.
Kazuka. This is about 80 more chapters than I
Bro.
thought this series would be. Like,
for every consecutive chapter the series continues, it's an embarrassment for us that we thought it was going to be ending like 2 years ago.
oh my god!
And it's not because we wanted it to end.
Comments was like, guys,
bro,
well,
they tried to tell us.
Keep going,
and we were like, "Shut up,
man.
idiots!"
All those. No.
Oh my god!
Wrong.
Yeah, we're getting. This was not good. This is not a good look for us. But hey, at least we admit
Brian
it.
was wrong too, because you know what? He hopped on the bandwagon when he wasn't even reading it.
Brian
yet.
never hops on the bandwagon for my. He doesn't read this series.
He was saying that this is gonna end too.
Oh, is that what he said?
He's a part of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're sorry.
No word, bro.
Clearly, Undead Unluck is not going to end for another 10 years.
Probably. If it's the next One Piece, that's cool. If it loops like 5 more times, it's cool. As long as the
Yeah,
writing's
it
good,
just makes us look worse if it loops 5 more times. If this series makes it to chapter 500, then we're pretty embarrassing.
Will we have to commit seppuku?
We might have to commit seppuku.
At least on a metaphoric level.
We'll have to leave it to the YouTube comments, which are, as you know, always very rational and cool.
Well, anyway, we got a really cool color page that looks like a movie titles, like an ad, like when you go to the movies and you see the pictures of, I don't know, the advertisement, right?
Yeah, movie posters.
Yeah, it's a poster. That's why I couldn't. It looked like an Undead Unluck movie poster. Pretty sick. Well done, Yoshifuma. Yoshi. So last week, we got a whole lot
Yoshi.
of exposition. That's also one of Chris's favorite words.
Is it?
Not more so than.
I don't think I say it that much.
Yeah. You used to say it a lot more.
Did I?
I actually. Yeah. There's a lot of recordings.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, there's a lot of exposition with the master rules debating over the fact if they're gonna lose or not, and basically the top dog said, "Yeah, we're gonna fucking lose because you guys suck, but don't worry, I don't suck, and I figured out a plan to stop all of that shit." So the other master rule that was released aside with Beast ended up pulling up on Nico and his homegirl / past love interest. Don't remember her name, even though it was in this very chapter I'm about to cover. But don't worry, I'll reveal it later. But so and activated her ability on like she used her rule language to remove it. Like she removed her rule from like certain people so that the union members like Fuko and them couldn't communicate the soul ability. So that's where we're at. So she has confronted Nico and his friend in the lab, And we get a flashback actually to the a previous loop. I'm not sure which one exactly. Maybe the last one. But Nico pulls a nah, I'd win, and unlike other people, actually succeed. He beat the Master Rule on his own and was like, I would never lose. Like with this ability, not to you. Your knowledge and I'm unforgettable. I will remember everything you've learned. Then I don't know. I guess that's how it went. So knowledge was very upset. Couldn't believe that, she lost. 'Cause the only person that beat her prior was Injustice. And Nico's like, how the hell do you know Juiz? Right, and she realized that, the Negators didn't understand that they was a part of previous loops. I guess, like, Juiz didn't put them on to that. So, yeah, she says, don't worry, I'm going to get you next loop. I'm going to remember this shit. You not going to remember, but I'm going to remember this shit. So, boom. We cut to the present, and she's like, I never forgot, Nico. So what's up? Let's go. And she, after all the shit talking, she realizes that Nico never manifested his negator ability. So, she's distraught. She's like, I can't fight you without your ability. Come on. How do we activate these? Oh, by killing your best friend, right? So, an arrow shoots out of her book. Probably knowledge about calculus or or like European history AP. Some
Yeah.
real boring shit. You know what I'm saying? Hit her straight through the fucking chest and almost killed her. Almost killed Nico's friend. Damn it, what is her name?
Ichiko.
Ichigo. Yeah, impales Ichigo. Almost kills her, but Ichigo could use the power of the soul, so she was able to avoid death. I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly how that worked, but I'm just going with it. I don't. You cool with that?
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, all right, let's go. So she's like, fuck, like, so the master rule knowledge is like, why won't you die for Lan and the others? I guess she speaks like an traditional Japanese wife when they speak of things in the third person, themselves and others. I actually find it very funny. I guess I'm ignorant. I'm not very proud of that, but I
Your
think
ignorance.
I'm not even gonna say it's funny. I think it's kind of cool. I was watching Blue Eyed Samurai. That's a series on Netflix. Really good. You should check that out.
Yeah,
Chris.
I saw some of it.
But,
My girlfriend was watching it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I might.
Yeah, it gets better and better. I'll say that. But there was a point in the series where one of the characters like was about to get married, and she kept talking about could you could uh could uh could your wife be forgiven? Oh no, what did she say? Can he forgive his wife for making such a rash decision? And like they kept talking about each other in the third person. I should have wrote a whole sentence down if I was gonna bring it up. But that's how Lan talks. I brought all of that up to say that Lan, the knowledge rule, speaks of herself in the third person, and it's awesome. She's mad Ichigo is still alive, and she's trying to explain to her that you can't do nothing in this form to help him, so just die and let his negator ability manifest. And of course, Ichigo's like, nah, fuck that. Like I don't care about all of that, so we're just gonna have to fight like Yatsu without an ability. I mean fight Lan without an ability. So then Lan decides to put some pressure on and say, listen, Fuko, I'll steal language away from the whole world and turn this shit upside down. Like when the Knicks win a championship. So
Is that what happens when the Knicks win?
Y'all can either yeah, basically. That's
We won't be able to speak.
And amongst other things. Yeah, so like that'll be one of the symptoms. Basically all the master rules will be unleashed. So anyway, if the next one, but yeah, back to the story. So yeah, so Land threatens Fuko and says, "Listen, I'm gonna take language away from the world if you don't make Nico and Ichiko board members so that we can have an official fight because it has to be official for her." Apocalypse gets mad. He's like, "Damn it, this is not what you're supposed to do. Like the loop battles are only supposed to be for the purpose of like getting leverage through like the seats and the arc." But Lan doesn't care. She wants her salty run back, and we get language versus unsleep and yet to manifest. Yeah, and that was Undead Unlocked. Chris, what are your thoughts?
This was my RGC. I think this is the first time
shit.
Undead Unluck has won an RGC for me exclusively. So
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
So one of the cool things about this chapter is the very start where we saw that Nico once beat Language by himself. That's pretty sick.
Wait, is she not knowledge? I thought her
I thought she
rule
was knowledge too.
It's
I thought it was
language?
bugging. I could have sworn
Holy
she was
shit.
knowledge. Let me go back.
Bro.
Let me go back.
Yeah, because I'm not about to get gaslit by Yoshifuma. I know you're really excited that you reached chapter 200 and shit, but keep it together, bro.
I thought
Don't make
this
me feel
last
like
week.
I'm
I was just like, what's
slowly declining.
Undead
Bro, it said
Unlock.
knowledge.
Unlock knowledge. Eh. Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. Dang it! This wiki is shit.
Well, while you're checking that out,
Okay, the
I'm gonna
master
talk
rules. I
about
got it. Okay.
On it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Actually, I really need
she
to
was
hear your thoughts
language.
if you get this to RGT.
She was
It
language.
was always language.
I guess she was. I don't know how I missed that.
That is unsettling.
Hold on. Okay, so she's the 8th master rule. Let's see if there's like a little. Close this fucking pop-up. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I guess she was just language. Maybe I thought she was knowledge. But I guess I was wrong. But anyway, what I was saying is one of the cool things about this was that hold on. Yeah, they said language. They said it was language earlier.
We'll hold the L. That's fine.
Whatever. Anyway. So, yeah, no, one of the things I thought was really cool was that Nico once beat one of the master rules by himself at one point in the loops. That's pretty sick. And it's a stark contrast to what he is now with no abilities. And something about unforgettable. Oh, I guess he couldn't forget to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Like he wouldn't be able to forget
Right.
language.
Damn, yeah. Counts as her. Hard counts her.
Mm-hmm.
Nico's gonna be looking like a fish out of water, man.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Ain't that like, yo, he was a goon in the last loop.
He really was. I'm curious as to like what about knowledge. is it just simply being able to speak that makes it a thing? But
I wonder
anyway,
if uncommunicated is gonna help out because like he
untell.
must be able to do something until yeah, he's so worthless.
he's, he's so fucking worthless. I don't think he'll be able to help in this
I don't think there was
situation.
any way his ability could manifest. It was just tragedy.
Yeah.
But they're gonna figure out a way. I can't wait. Actually, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. No, I thought this was really cool, and I like this dynamic with with language and Nico. How, she just won't let it die. That she's like, man, I wanted to defeat Unforgettable, you know? And yeah, language is a real like menacing like character too. That sharp teeth part like freaked me out. And the fact that she like
Yeah,
impaled this lady with, I don't know, AP.
immediately, like she was staring at him, like, "Oh, what's your like? How am I gonna really activate your ability?" And then like he looked for a second, and then her eyes matched. Like, oh, you're looking at her. That was scary.
Yeah, that was rough. But Ichigo Lucky could get, astral project, which is pretty sweet. I wonder how
Yeah.
she's gonna beat her with just her soul. She's like basically a ghost. So I guess they could at least stall time until Fuko gets there. But maybe it's Nico does get his unforgettable here, but it'll be a different interpretation like everybody else's. Like
Yeah.
there's been different interpretations as to how to apply unforgettable. So very excited to see how it goes here. Overall, I thought it was a really good chapter. I like Nico a lot. He's a character with a lot of depth in both loops. So excited to see how this turns out.
He's been like a low key, like second in command all the time.
Mm-hmm. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
I really enjoyed it too. Excuse me, not as much as uh others, but I'm really curious to see how this battle is going to set up because obviously she's a Uma that can damage people. She just impaled Ichiko, so it's not like it's gonna. I thought it was definitely gonna be like some type of game or like quiz or something like something to that sort. It probably still will be, but it will be consequences. People will probably get stabbed up for like a wrong answer. He's like I see Nico getting stabbed a lot in the next few chapters. That much I can say for sure.
Yeah.
I like the way the soul was shown through Ichiko instead of just like her whole body was just her head. I think that was cool. It
Mm-hmm.
looked kind of cute, and I guess it's a lot easier to just draw it like that too. Yeah, damn. I hope they don't lose. I hope Untel really does come and then language. He just says, "Oh, you can't tell anybody what to do with language." I don't know.
And he's like, I already
Yoki
can't
too.
talk.
Actually, shit. He sucks.
Joke's on you. I already suck. But all right. Well, I don't have any more thoughts on Undead Unluck. Do you?
Nah.
All right. Well, that was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. You could catch him when he's streaming at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. Email the show itself at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will address it on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. Very excited for that. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and also on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, all that stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. after all this time as well, you know, for every week. We, for those of you who listen every week, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, y'all. Thanks for listening. Let's go, Knicks. Let's turn this fucking world upside down.
Let's go.